Mokshika Sharma. I am the VP of Product and Technology at Sur La Table, supporting the PE holding company CSE Generation. And my job is really the full umbrella of anything that has electrons and supporting retail. And we support distressed brands in kind of getting out of their technical debt and really getting to that next level of technical competency. I think it was very relevant. More so, I think it really helped understand, how is the Alliance supporting the initiatives that we're already doing in our organization. It's not. It's basically saying that, of course it's best practice to consider and think about how you're doing your APIs and how you're doing, your headless and just kind of the building blocks of it. But then what does MACH Alliance add on top of that, in terms of structure, in terms of, resources, availability of companies that are also supporting it. So I think that was a good way to understand how can I leverage this community to continue to support the initiatives that are already happening. Yeah, I think the dream of every technologist is, of course, to be composable 100%. I don't know a single CIO that will say that they're 100% there, or will ever be there. I think the idea is that you get, the components that you do put in are able to be building blocks for the next piece, So in my line of work, there is a lot of legacy processes, tools, just in general, silos that exist, and they're very heavy silos. So you have to kind of come in and be like, okay, well, what is step 1, 2, and 3 to be able to break that apart? And sometimes it's a composable answer, and sometimes, you don't need to build the rocket ship, and you can think about kind of what's the early starting point, and maybe, hopefully, you can get to composable. I think the next, the other part about it is that we also want to make sure that we're not creating ourselves a bit of a operational hazard as well, of being able to, now you have to support all these pieces. So it's a very thoughtful exercise you have to do in retail of, the age-old question of build versus buy, but even more so because you are dealing with so many legacy pieces. Yeah, I think the big takeaway really is how much people are actually pushing the boundaries of what the companies that are building for, let's say, legacy brands, they're doing so much to actually consider and take care of other individuals' roadmaps, right? And I think that's something, maybe outside in, you are like, oh, well, they don't have this feature or they don't have that feature, but they are here, they're talking to you, they're asking for your advice, they're asking questions on how can they cater more to you. They're on the same table. And so I think there is that responsibility of, on the other side, is to also come to the table and also give them the advice and get them closer to what you're looking for, and not just throw your hands up and be like, you're not giving me what I want, And I think that's I've obviously been to a lot of retail conferences that are very large, and you don't get this chance to do a one-on-one conversation as much as I was able to do here. And more so, I didn't get to do it in the technical lens, which here we had slideshows that had architecture and people taking pictures of it, and that is the, I guess, magic here, is they're actually talking about, okay, how can you think about your whole ecosystem and not just the one thing that I'm trying to sell? And that's, I think, very powerful. And I wish I'd come here earlier. And when I was first joining retail, it would have been a great, been a great starting of my journey. Yeah.